Today I'm going to show you how to do the weaving part of your dream catcher and how to make the strings with beads and feathers on the bottom and a loop at the top for hanging. So once you have completed your drawing and coloring, the next step is to punch holes on the inside of the ring. You're going to want to push your hole puncher pretty far in from the edge. If it's too close to the edge, it might rip. We're going to space the holes about 2 inches apart all the way around, and you'll end up with about 14 holes. If you have a little bit more or a little bit less, that's okay. So there are our holes, and then you add the yarn. The amount of yarn that you need is about 2 arm spans long. Let me grab some. So here's my yarn. I'm measuring it. You can't see me measuring it, but I'm spreading my arms out wide 2 times. And then I cut it, and that should be plenty long enough. So we flip it over to the back and tape the yarn, just a little piece of tape. We don't have much tape, so we have to be careful not to use too much. So it doesn't really matter where you tape it down. There we go, we've got it taped. And then you find the other end and start putting the end in the hole. So I'm just gonna go kind of straight across and then just pull that through. My yarn is really long because I have long arms. I'll probably have extra. Then flip it over, pick another hole to put the end in. So the yarn came up through this hole, so now it needs to go down in a hole. So I will put it in there, and it's going down. Oh, got tangled on my hole puncher there. There we go. And pull it tight. Now, if you go down a hole 2 times in a row, let me show you what happens. This is what you don't want to do, but let's just say I went down a hole and I forgot, and I went down a hole next. You're gonna see what the mistake is. Look, it wraps around the outside of the plate. If that happens, just undo it. Very easy to fix. So the last one went down a hole, so this time it needs to go up in a hole. So I'll just do that one. There we go. So just keep doing this until you've used up all the holes. When you're all done, if you could see what I did, at the end, I taped the end, and I had a little bit of extra, so I just cut off the extra. So that's how you finish your weaving. Here is where it started. I taped it down, and then it ends the same way. Just tape it down, cut off extra. The next step then is to use the hole punch. Decide where the top is. We need 1 hole at the top, and then at the bottom we need 3 holes. So again, make sure when you're punching the holes, push the hole punch as far as it'll go. We'll say that's the top hole. And then straight down would be the bottom hole. And then I'm going to go 2 inches to the side, 2 inches to this side. There we go. 1 at the top for the hanger, and 3 at the bottom for the strings with feathers and beads that hang down. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to make the strings with feathers. Make sure you're paying close attention. It's a little tricky, but I'm sure you can do it. So at your table you have 1 bag of feathers. For each string you may use 3 feathers, so pick out your 3 feathers. Ooh, that red one is pretty. It's kind of little, but that's okay. Okay, and then you'll notice your feather has like a stem. So you're going to line up the stems of your feathers. All 3 feathers, they line up. Line up the stems. Just kind of lay them down so your feathers are ready. You need to get your string ready, your piece of yarn. So in the bag, pick out your yarn. Pull that out. Now this yarn is too long, so we're actually going to cut it in half. And this is how you can tell where the halfway point is. If you line up the 2 ends, kind of fold your yarn, your string, on this end is a loop, and that's where you cut. Cut your loop. Now you have 2 strings that are the 1 string cut in half, so these are the same length. So there's my 2. I'll need 1 more for 3 strings, but we'll just start with this first one. Okay, so I have my feathers, my 3 feathers, the stems lined up. Then take this end of your yarn, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. I'm going to get my piece of tape ready. You just need a very small piece of tape. Just leave it on my finger. Okay, I've got my 3 stems lined up, and then I'm going to take the end of my yarn and lay it over the stems so they overlap about 1 inch. And then holding everything together tightly, I'll hold it with my left hand and then use my right hand to wrap tape around this whole bunch. So as tight as I can, I'm pinching and wrapping really tight. There we go. Now I have 3 feathers attached to the bottom of my string, and the feathers are going to keep the beads from falling off. So when you do the beads, I'd like you to make a pattern. You may use 6 beads in whatever pattern you can think of. So your table will get a plate of beads, and you'll get a little tray to put your own beads in. So let's just say I'm going to use, I think I'm going to do orange, and then I'm going to do a light green, and then dark green. I think that'll be my pattern. So I'm going to do dark green, light green, orange. See how that looks? Oh, I like that. I'm going to do dark green, light green. Oh no, look what just happened. Can you see that? But just kind of pull it back together, and then maybe if you hold the yarn really close to the end, that won't happen. So stick that in there, pull it through. There we go. I have one more to go. If the end gets really bad, you could try trimming a little bit of it off so that you have a nice end again. Here we go. So doesn't that look nice? I've got a pattern. So to attach your string onto your plate, what you'll do is in one of the bottom 3 holes, put your yarn in there. Now we're going to do some tying. So to tie it on, cross the strings, put the end through the loop, and then pull. And one knot is not going to stay. You're going to have to do it again, do a double knot. So again, cross, put the end through the loop and pull. And then we have a little piece extra. We don't really want it to show, and I'm afraid if we cut it off, the knot might come untied. So the solution is to just get a little piece of tape and tape the end to the back of the plate. There, doesn't that look nice? I've got one, I have 2 more to go. If you are having trouble with tying, please see if someone at your table can help you. I can come around and help too, but I can't help everyone at once. So check and see if a friend can help you. So I need to do 2 more strings and also a hanging loop at the top. The hanging loop at the top, you can use a string, the full string. You don't have to cut it in half. So this, out of the bag, this is a full-size string. So I'll just put the string through the hole. Bring my ends together, and then while holding both strings at the same time, wrap it around my finger. This string crosses the other string, and then the ends go down and then up through the loop, and then pull, and then you have a nice strong knot for hanging your dream catcher. So I have 2 more to go, 2 more strings at the bottom, and then I'll be done.